Hello, welcome back to the Games Kingdom. My name's Carl King. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of an unboxing of a Kickstarter that is being fulfilled currently to UK backers certainly, and it's the Gilded Realms by SANDTIME Games. Now this I did a review on for SANDTIME, written review which is up on Everything Board Games and also Zartu. But some 3 years ago I did an initial couple of videos of an unboxing and a playthrough of the first iteration of the game, which was called Antara's Kingdom. So this is what that game has sort of evolved into, and this is the deluxe copy of the game. So as I say, this has literally arrived today. So here we have the back, and that's obviously showing you there the box art and also what your table is going to look like once the game is set out. So as I say, this is the deluxe copy, so it's got the sort of upgraded components. So if you want to sort of check this out, if you haven't backed it, then obviously check out their websites and also sort of keep an eye out for it at maybe some retailers and some conventions. I don't know if any of these copies will be on sale at the upcoming UK Games Expo, but if you want to check out SANDTIME Games, their website, I'm sure there'll be some more information on there. But without any sort of further ado, we'll get into a bit of an unboxing. So as you can see, we've got some very nice quality card, nice and flat as well, some tokens in the game and some more here, as well as obviously some cardboard coins, another sheet of coins there, some more tokens. Some of these are sort of the resources as well that you get in the game. These are some of the sort of upgrades and things I believe that you can place onto your player board, which you can sort of get throughout the game. And there is a sort of included tray in the box, but we'll get to that shortly. But there are a couple of those, so they're printed, as you can see, on both sides. We will have a quick flick through the rule book. This is also a nice little touch. What they've done here, as you can see, these are some of the components that are sort of upgrades. So these little towers that you get to put on to your boards and things. So you will get in here some sticker sheets and whatnot, and you will take those off and you'll put those on into these little towers. Now some people say, oh, why don't they come already done and things like that, but I quite like sitting and sort of putting some of these things together. You know, you just sort of get a little bit more of a feel of what they're for, and you sort of you know, get some involvement at the outset when you're doing your unboxing yourself at home and sort of putting things in trays. So do stuff like that, but also obviously this saves time and money at the other end in the factories, because if these things were printed and then people were sitting around doing these in the factories, then obviously they would charge for that, and then you'd have to pay for that time anyway as part of your pledge, or as part of a cost if you bought it from them direct off their website or at a show. So doing little things like this does help keep costs down, obviously, because you're doing a little bit of the work, but it's not a great deal of time or anything. You get some nice little player aids there, as I say, again, nice thick card, so it tells you the different things in the game, different phases, and then obviously you've got other bits on the reverse. And then there is a solo mode in the deluxe edition. I don't know if it's in any of the other editions, but certainly in the deluxe edition it says on the back of the box that there is an included solo mode. So I'll give that a try, because that was also part of the original Antara's Kingdom, and I quite enjoyed the solo mode of that particular game. So we've got some nice little boards here. Now I think there has obviously been some different iterations of the game since I played the first time and also did our initial review with some of my gaming friends. We played this and then I did the written review. So here are those sticker sheets. So as I say, these will go on to those tower components, which I'll get out of the box shortly, and we'll come back and show you exactly how they fit. A nice little score pad, so you get quite a few sheets there. Only one-sided. I know some do come double-sided in some games, but you know, if you need to just photocopy some more, then you know, just keep one or two back at the end and do some photocopying on some A4 sheets. But there's quite a few there for games to play. And then you get some more boards like so. So this is a 1 to 4 player game. So you've got one there for each player. And then we come on to, so those bits that I showed you earlier, those tokens, they will go into this. So this is a game tray. So they have a very good reputation for good quality game trays. There's quite a few games out there at the moment currently being designed with game tray help, and yeah, so I've got a couple. Got Dwellings of Eldervale, I believe they've got game trays in them, and they are really nice and sturdy and really good to help sort your game out and keep it sort of organised. And you know, you take out those bits as you go along in the game, and then they'll obviously go back in there at the end of the game or the end of the evening, and they're a nice way of making sure that it doesn't take you half an hour to an hour to pack some of these games away, which can be the case if you're sort of tipping them into bags and things. So yeah, more boards. So yeah, again, nice quality. A how to win guide, and then these things here, one for each player. It gives you bits and pieces of information of what's going on in the game and what you can do. And then on the back here, it's got some explanations on some of those upgraded tokens that we saw earlier that have all got to be punched out and put into the trays. So then we get on to some more player boards, or more boards for use within the game. So we've got, again, there's 4 of these, I believe. But one was on the top of the box earlier. And then here we have one of the main boards in the game where you'll play different through different sort of phases and eras of the game. And then we have here some dice, so some nicely sort of custom made dice, nicely done and sort of complete, slightly different to the ones that I originally had in the prototype. And then again, we've got some more of these game trays where you'll put different components in. As you can see, some of them have already been put in, and you'll just put more in here. This is where obviously things like the money, cardboard tokens and bits and pieces will go into from those punch boards that we got out earlier. And then obviously once they're in there, you've got your holders here for monies and different pieces. So again, that'll all be nicely stored away, so you won't need to worry about that. We've got quite a lot of cards, so some sort of almost like a tarot sized card. I think that's what those particular ones are called for the size. And then these are those little towers that I mentioned earlier. So this is where these little symbols will go into these towers, and obviously they will donate which factions and different things that this tower belongs to. And then there's bits that you take off the bottom of these as well, and you put some of these other ones on here, and that will donate what the other sort of icons will tell you in the game what that will do. So I will get this off here eventually, but I don't want to sort of take it off and break that. It does tell you how to do that in those instructions that we showed you earlier. And then we get several decks of the mini Euro cards, I believe, again, that these ones are called. So there are quite a few cards in the box to deal with. So if you're like me and you like to sleeve cards to make sure they stay in a nice sort of pristine condition, then obviously you're going to need to buy a few cards for this particular game. But personally, I do think it's worthwhile in some games. If you're going to play them to any sort of certain extent, then I do believe that it's worth sleeving some of these games. So I've got some that are sleeved because we play them quite regularly, or I play them solo. So certainly if there is a decent solo mode in the game, I will do that. I will sleeve the cards just to make sure that they do sort of stay in a nice sort of pristine condition. So that's what we've seen so far. We'll just have we'll put this back on and use this as sort of like a little mini table, and we'll have a quick flick through the rule book. So it's quite a, as you can see here, it's quite a chunky rule book. I think this is just the English version, but this is the first time I'm opening the rule book. So if we turn this lengthways, it might work a bit better. So as you can see here, it's giving you an intro, a table of contents, which is always good, how to win, solo, how to win, obviously the credits of the people who put the game together and designed it, and then you've got a list of components. So that's very, very complete there, very sort of thorough, nicely laid out, shows exactly what you should get in the box, so you can check that you've got everything once it arrives. How to set the game up, how to set your player board or player area, key concepts in the game, things about territories and provinces, how to play around. So it runs through obviously there a description of a typical round, an example of, and then you've got your phases. So you've got the build phase, the action phase and the event phase. So you'll run through all of these particular phases each turn, and then obviously move on to your next. So yeah, it's got all of the information you're going to need, very comprehensive. So you've got your year events, as you can see, some very nice artwork in here as well. Kingdom advancement, victory point tallies, again more game concepts here, and then onto the solo mode. Now that starts on page 24, and as I say, I've not played a new iteration of this since it was Antares Kingdoms as a solo player. So yeah, you've got your solo concepts here, and there you go. It sort of finishes here perhaps, and then here is a list of all of the token upgrades that go into the tray again. So they'll be the same ones that are on those sort of cheat sheet cards. Then you've got your faction reference, the different guilds and clans, and then obviously a glossary, so it will show you that obviously the larger ones are worth 5, a gold coin and a silver coin, and what each of the resources that you get in the game are actually doing, or what they're for. It will tell you about all of the symbols, so all you need to do is refer back to this or to one of the cards, and again on the back a nice index of all of the contents and the pages that you're going to find them on inside this rulebook, which is 39/40 pages with that back page. So yeah, nice, a comprehensive rulebook, A4 size. So yeah, there's quite a lot in there. It wasn't an overly complicated game when we played it, both as a 4-player and I played as a solo, so it flows very nicely. As I say, I've not seen what any of the changes are, to be honest. I've kept an eye on the campaign, but not sort of too in depth, because I like to sort of find out at the end, because if it's still a work in progress, obviously things that you might get excited about and think, oh, that's in the game, that's in the game, and then when it turns up they've taken it out for some reason because it didn't work with how the game was flowing, or feedback from people. So I tend to try and steer away from a lot of that and play the game as it comes at the end, because then either you are excited to play how it is, and you're not disappointed for anything that you thought was going to be in it and has been removed or taken out because it didn't work, or other bits that were put in, they sort of clashed and again didn't sort of work together. So I tend to, as I say, steer away from most of that stuff and most of those discussions and things, and just enjoy the game when it turns up, hopefully, and play it in its completed form. So that's it. Very, as I say, a quick unboxing. Once we've gotten this to the table, I'll do a new sort of updated review of the game for the sort of websites and things that I do these for. So hopefully that'll be out there. You'll be able to read what we think of the changes, how it's playing and everything else, how all of the components go into every sort of component tray and bits and pieces. And yeah, we'll come back and give you our thoughts again on the Gilded Realms. If you like what you see here and you want to check it out, then as I say, go over to SANDTIME's website. I'm not sure if there's still a late pledge open on the campaign page. You can have a look at it. You can obviously have a look at that anyway, because that'll give you more and more details of what happened and where they are with this. Obviously, as I say, it's now being delivered to backers in the UK. I think there's a bit of a delay because of the US tariffs and things. There may be a bit of delay to some people, but certainly the UK one is being, as you can see here, being delivered as we speak. I wasn't expecting this to turn up this week, because the last I checked online it was still in final checks at the fulfillment centre. So to get this sort of turn up today was a nice little bonus. So yeah, if you like what you see, give it a check out, and yeah, check out their website and the campaign page. So until we do another one of these, it's bye for now.